So there was a plane that Kim Reynolds was the owner of, and used COVID-19 funds. So let's reel the clock back a little bit. I will give Kim Reynolds some credit in that she was one of the governors who lifted lockdown restrictions quicker than most other governors. I'll give her that credit. She still did it for a short period of time, and I think that's still tyrannical. And I think if there wasn't this push in the media or just in general against this COVID-19 propaganda stuff, it's very possible she could have just kept all those restrictions up. It would not surprise me in the least. If she was a Democratic governor, we probably would have gone as long as New York or California or any of those states, right? But whatever. Regardless, this was something that was funded with tax dollars. Not only tax dollars, on top of tax dollars, inflated tax dollars. So not only did they take money from the public coercively, but then they also printed money, devaluing the dollar for these funds, for these COVID-19 funds. And, when that happens, you would think, oh, okay, so this is going to go to like hospitals or like maybe equipment or, let's even say like vaccine production, right? Like something that like would make sense. No, I don't know how much of it went to that. Actually, these are federal funds. Okay, so this is even the state. This is federal funds. Oh my God, this woman is such a corrupt cunt. She took funds that were supposed to go, things that would make sense in a pandemic for the money to go to. But instead of doing that, it went to this. If I can, come on, Coleman, don't fuck whatever, that works. It went to this. I went to this plane right here. I really should have found out how much this damn thing cost. Maybe it says in the article. Okay. So this was the scandal recently that she is, as of 2026, 6 years after the COVID pandemic, is using a plane, or not 6 years after, but 6 years after it started, is using this plane that really shouldn't have been purchased at all, even like in the first place. But is using this plane for official business, supposedly. Now, there's controversy that she's using it for things outside of official purposes, which, okay, let's actually. So this is she's, from what I understand, she is using this plane to fly around the state of Iowa. Now, I don't know how many people listening live in the state of Iowa, but if you don't, it takes about, if you want to drive from one end of the state to the other end of the state, might take 6 hours. If you wanted to drive from here, Des Moines, to Sioux City, which I think is one of the places she was at, it would take about 3.5 hours. 3 hours, maybe. If your speed, I've heard people be able to do it if they're going 100 in like an hour and a half. Regardless, this is not something. This is not flying from New York to LA, okay? This is something that Kim Reynolds, because there's no way this woman's this, especially when she is a sitting duck governor, there's no way she's that busy. Maybe, or at the very least, there's no way that the things that she has to do can't be done over Zoom. I'm not a government official, but I have such a hard time believing that this woman still needs to use this plane for official business just to fly across the state of Iowa. If she was flying to DC, maybe. But you know what? I don't know, man. You're a public servant. Fucking take... Fuck. Drive a car like the rest of us. Shit. You could have the state patrol put their lights on and you could all go 120 miles and get there in an hour and a half. You know what I mean? There's so many other ways you could do this. So the fact that this is even a story, that this is even this is what I'm talking about when it comes to corruption. When their explanations are such dog shit and they say it with a straight face and everybody fucking does this, the corruption's real. You gotta go pinch off a dirt snake. Good for you, man. Okay, so let's read this article. If I can hit the button. Governor Kim Reynolds says she believes her use of an Iowa State Patrol airplane purchased using COVID-19 relief funds to travel for official events was appropriate, she said during a news conference Thursday. Can we find the clip? Oh, we might have to try to find the clip. But anyways, let's finish reading the article first. The Des Moines Register reported that State Patrol pilots flew a Cessna 208B Grand Caravan to Sioux City and Waterloo before the government appeared at events in these cities. So, okay, again, for those who don't live in Iowa, that would take maybe 3 hours. If I were to, let's just Google, let's just map it right now. Let's just map it right now. Let's just do it. Sioux City. Can't type Waterloo. Okay, 3.5 hours. Straight shot. You see that? And this bitch needs a plane. And this isn't even official business. This isn't even I have important meetings. I have to talk to the delegates. This is probably some fucking, promo thing that she's doing, right? The very loose definition of what a official traveling is for this. Oh, wow. So this was, I didn't even realize this. So this plane was purchased in December 2024 using funds provided from the state through the 2021 American Rescue Plan Act. At least she waited. No, that's even worse. If she had bought it, in the midst of COVID and then was just we just kind of have this plane left over. That's a little better. That's a little better than fuck. We have all this extra money from the COVID pandemic. After we have a new president who has said fuck all that and is not, we're not living in that world at all. This was like, hey, this is an amount of money that could go to what its original, intended purpose is, what could go to the people of Iowa, but no, I'm just going to use it to buy a fucking plane so I can fly to different cities in Iowa that would take 3 hours. The amount of corruption is just, it's insane. The trips identified by let's keep reading this. The trips identified by the Register report include travel January 29th to Sioux City, where the governor visited homes built by local career academy students. She couldn't drive. She was so goddamn busy that she couldn't drive to go see houses built by students. They could have gotten a guy with a fucking phone camera and could just been, oh, hey, here's the houses. Oh, okay, cool. You couldn't drive. You couldn't drive 3 hours, bitch. You gonna take a fucking plane to go see some houses? Official by ass. Reynolds also endorsed U.S. Representative Ashley Hinston in her campaign for Iowa's U.S. Senate seat as an event the night before the plane flew back later the same day. Wait. At an event that night before the plane. Okay. So it was just because she wasn't going to make it? Bitch, skip the house, dude. Who is planning this bitch's schedule? Skip the house tour, man. Hey, send me a fucking picture. I gotta go fucking endorse this bitch. And that's the thing. Like, okay, this is your official, but you're just gonna endorse. And her endorsement doesn't mean shit, by the way. To any normal like Iowan, to any normal American, this cunt's endorsement doesn't mean a single fucking thing. She is the most disgraced governor in recent history. The people who need endorsement from that cunt are just as cunty as her, if not worse. If you need endorsement from this lady, you are just as corrupt as this cunt. That's like after Watergate being like, okay, we're gonna have Nixon come in and endorse. It's like when it's like when Kamala was having the Cheneys, go with her, like endorsing her, right? Like, it's like, why are you having these people? And the sad part is, like, 20% of the population is going to be like, oh yeah, okay. Like, they're just going to buy that at face value. And this is, I feel like maybe more of them in Iowa. I don't know. I don't understand, like, how anybody's buying this shit. Okay. Let's keep reading a little bit here, and then we'll try to find a clip. Speaking to reporters at a media availability Thursday, Reynolds said that the Grand Caravan was not my plane, but an Iowa State Patrol plane that was overwhelmingly used by state law enforcement officers. She also said her travel does not use a specific plane. What is the Iowa State Patrol using a plane for? Are there drones from Russia in the sky? Are they like spying on people crop dusting their fields? What is the purpose of a plane? And look, like, again, people need to understand this is the state of Iowa. This is not New York. This is not Florida. This is not California. This is not like there's not that much going on here. Okay. This podcast is like in the top 10. All right. Like, this is not the Iowa State Patrol does not need a fucking plane. Like, I'm like, show me. Someone tell me why we need a fucking plane. Please. Please prove me wrong. I know I'm not that smart. I know I'm full of shit, but like I can't believe that they need a plane. And like you guys saw that plane. It's not like there are guns attached to it. It's not like there's like a fucking net. It's like a fucking crop duster plane. It's a travel plane. It looked like the plane from Indiana Jones. Like, this is not fucking, I don't know what official purpose that the Iowa State Patrol is using this plane for. Because what's probably more realistic is that this bitch had leftover funds and was like, okay, hey, I'm gonna buy me a fun treat. I'm gonna buy me a plane. Because I'm so corrupt and these dumb Iowa fucks keep voting for me. So I'm just going to use the money from these dumb fucks and buy a plane with it. Okay. And then she also says, when you look at the 2025 hours flown, it was less than 3% of that. So I'm not using it every other day. We use it sparingly. When I'm trying to get out into the state and when I'm trying to, I can just hear her voice in this. To, be respectful of the people that are trying to meet with me to get all that done. I have to use the resources that are available. And if available, whether it's a 4-seater or the larger one, doesn't make a difference. Whatever's available, we can use it. Isn't that the cunniest response? I don't think fucking Hillary Clinton would have responded like that. Jesus Christ. And look, here's another thing I wanted to say with all this. There's no way Rob Sand could be this bad. There's no fucking way. There's no fucking way. You almost wonder if there's something to that, right? Like if they're just putting all their stakes into Rob Sand. They're like, hey, we're gonna make this bitch look so bad You know, it's like I said with Biden and Trump. Like I always thought Biden and Trump were on the same team. I still think they are. I mean, I think the Iran war makes that more clear than anything. But I always thought they were on the same team, right? Like, put in a candidate who is like a dead person. What is that going to guarantee? That's going to guarantee that Donald Trump wins. I almost kind of wonder that with Rob Sand. But I mean, in reality, I think what's most likely is that he is a genuine candidate. You know, I know I've talked to him about him a lot in this podcast, and I disagree with plenty of his things. I still think the things he wants to do with education is draconian. He wants to flood the Medicaid market, which is going to be a disaster for taxpayers. And it's not really going to do anything. But there's no way that Rob Sand can be as corrupt as fucking Kim Reynolds is. I can't imagine a world. I cannot imagine a world where that pepper shaker, those beady eyes, I can't imagine a world where he would be that corrupt. You know, this was someone who was literally in the Department of, I can't remember, the Treasury maybe. Literally his job was to uncover fraud. There's literally a documentary that was put together where he did all this. I have yet to watch it. But look, I don't vote. I don't endorse people. But like, you know, I've always thought that Rob Sand's probably going to be the guy that wins. And part of me kind of hope he does now. Because holy fucking shit. Like, this bitch is going out fucking swinging. Let's try to find this actually. Let's try to find this video. This is from okay. The ad. Let's just respond. Let's just watch this and respond, people. Doing what the good people do.
Governor Reynolds is responding today to criticism over her use of state-funded airplanes for travel.
State planes and doesn't regret it. She says a plane bought in 2024 is used by the Iowa State Patrol for aerial searches, things like missing people, other investigations, and that her flights only sources.
Missing people? You don't have like a fucking... You have cell phones. What? They're flying with the pair of binoculars and going, ooh, where are these people? Where are these people at? Where's the missing person?
That the state already has.
I don't feel bad about doing it. It's how I get out and get into the state and actually accomplish more, as well as doing my job here. So I can work all morning sometimes and have back-to-back meetings and then get to an event in Northwest Iowa.
You could do that in your car! You're telling me she's not paying someone to drive her? What? She's flying the plane? Is that what you're telling me? You're telling me this bitch is flying the plane? Fucking do the work in your car, bitch. Do it like every other Iowan in fucking that lives here when they're in that situation. They find somebody to drive them and they do the work. You could do the Zoom in your car. It takes 3 hours. Wake up earlier.
If it's on the schedule.
State House Minority Leader Brian Mayer at a press.
Yeah, okay. Of course, that's all that KCCI is going to give us on that. But yeah, I mean, what more can you say about that at this point?